Yeah, shout out Mojave. You know what I'm saying? So you can hear the words from a more professional point of view and not from me who's, going to give you kind of like a scrambled story. I'll just chime in and ask my questions as we go through. You feel what I'm saying? Hold on.
When we walked out of that courtroom just now, every single person was shocked.
He is a weirdo, but he's funny.
Every single person was frozen. A lot of people were looking at me like, bro, tell me what is going on. Kelsey took the stand. Before she even started talking, there were fireworks. This started with Kelsey coming in and saying she is invoking her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not testify. When someone invokes the Fifth Amendment, they have to be invoking it because if they were to testify, they would be giving testimony that incriminates themselves. She said, I will not testify because I would be giving testimony that I'm incriminating myself. That's what it means when she invoked the Fifth Amendment. Now, the government offered her immunity. They said that
whoever was in the courtroom can go back and give the information that was in the thing. It's public, so they don't have to keep it on the hush hush. Only thing they won't have access to is like the jury room. Just wanted to let you know, chat, I'm graduating from college this Saturday. Thank y'all for getting me through this last year for real. Oh my God, Jay. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how the fuck you did it. I'm not saying you stupid, but like, couldn't be me. This is the exact definition of that Paul Rudd meme where it's like, who'd have thought? Not me, because it definitely wouldn't have been me. Then again, I wouldn't have started either. But hey, that's dubs for you. What was your major? That's a big accomplishment. That's great news.
That we will not prosecute you and use this testimony against you, so please testify. Her lawyer came back and said, well, that's not good enough. I don't want you to just not use her testimony against her. I want you to confirm to me that you will not
I'm not a dropout. I never went.
Prosecute her for any crimes arising out of this instance, out of this.
I went to some trade schools, though, but I never went to, formal college. I never wanted to go.
Situation. The prosecutors say
as soon as I was done with high school, bro, I never wanted to do that ever.
Yes, on the record, we will not be charging Kelsey for anything that came out of this incident. And then she testified. I'm going to go over the whole testimony in the next video, but here's the piece that we just left off at lunch. The courtroom is just, I can't even explain the tension. They asked her, at one point, did Tory ever say that I'll shoot you? And she said, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right, which suggests, they asked her, what's the context? When did he say I'm going to shoot you? She said, I invoked the Fifth, which suggests that the context was Kelsey was doing something. Perhaps Meg was also doing something that would incriminate her. That's the context. That's what I get from it. That's my opinion. That's my read of it. For those of you who have been telling me that I'm biased and that there's only one angle to this story and that a man pulled a gun and shot 5 times at another woman and that the prosecutors haven't charged him with attempted murder, but I'm biased. If you believe the story that a man pulled a gun and shot 5 times at another woman, he had.
Okay, well, I'm not trying to get persuaded. I just want the information. Like, what did she say exactly?
Right, you heard the.
I'm not really for like narrative based. I'm gonna push what I think as well. I just kind of want to hear what the fuck is happening. But I do get the concern and the suspicion. So like my biggest question in the case so far would be like, yo. If you have like immunity or whatnot, actually, we don't know what questions that they said that she pled the Fifth on. Well, I do know because I've already seen this, but like in case you don't know, apparently she pled the Fifth on whether or not Tory was the one who fired the gun, and then also pled the Fifth on another question pertaining to something along the lines of Tory. But if you have immunity, which is basically to prevent you from having any information that you give during your testimony used against you, or just to prevent you from incriminating yourself, why not answer the questions about Tory is the biggest, issue. So that's the only it's not the only red flag, but that's one of the biggest red flags. Is like, why are you protecting somebody? And then you also say that during your questioning, when you're asked if you shot her, you basically say it's ridiculous. I don't think it's as simple as she shot her. It does give more like, what do you think that? I don't know nothing about Messi. Asking me any questions about football, bro, I'm not going to have no answers for you. Never watched it. Not saying that it's not entertaining. I just have never invested any time into it. Second of all, it's not as simple as defending Megan Thee Stallion, because at the very least, we have a baseline of understanding that she was shot, okay? After the many, many moons of niggas saying that she definitely wasn't shot and she was lying about being shot, okay? That's the first thing. So at least we have understanding that there's been a gun that was used. There is gun residue. There is whatever the fuck else, gunpowder, gun residue, blah, 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 ended up on multiple parties, right? So that's the first thing that's acknowledgeable. The second part is there are two people that are the main look-ats. I don't know what else to call them, but the look-ats. What do I think of the theory that Meg and Kelsey fought? She reached for the gun. Tory tried to stop her, and the gun accidentally went off. Well, that contradicts Meg's story. Meg's story is that she saw Tory shooting at her. That's her story, right? Now, when asked if Kelsey was near Tory, she says that she didn't see Kelsey, which is fine because Kelsey could be out of her sight if Tory is the one who shoots. That's all I'm saying. Can we move on, please? No, because we just got here. Fuck up. So it's a little strange, it's a little weird. I'm interested to see if there's more information that ends up being gathered. It just seems like a bit of a unnecessary complication for someone who simply claims complete innocence. I don't know why Tory brought his son, and I'm still hazy on so which side we on? I mean, I'm on the side of I think Tory still did it. But it's more complicated in figuring out how we got to that point when there are like basically three different stories. Because Tory's basically saying that he didn't do it. Kelsey saying that she didn't do it. Meg saying that Tory did it. And so Kelsey is basically saying like, hey, yo, I plead the fifth. And I won't say that Tory did it, even though I'm saying that I didn't do it either. It's like, what are we doing here? And then we all have the understanding that she's been shot. So it's like it's being made so complicated. And I know niggas are trying to stay out of prison, so I get why it's being made complicated. But this is adding zero clarity to anything. Like, unless I just wish at this point I wish that somebody like weird culture never strikes at the right time. They never strike at the right time. Super weird culture is never around when it needs to be. Cause all those niggas that record the dead bodies after the cops shoot them, or they sit around and they record people fighting and they do all this extra weirdo shit when you wouldn't expect it, like in the worst situations, people pulling their phone out. In a situation like this, I'd be like, yo, why didn't nobody pull their phone out? Even though I know it's completely justifiable for them not to have. This is just one of those situations where I'd have been like, damn, some video footage would have been fire in this moment. Some video footage would have just made the whole shit go away.
Man, can we just get Young Thug back? Metro Spider is all the evidence we need to know he didn't do anything wrong.
Sergio Kitchens. He just got out. Kelsey admitted she lied about Tory shooting her. No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that at all. They saying he snitched. Out of nowhere, it does look a little different. Y'all saying he took the McDonald's meal. But it does look it look a little funky that he just like randomly got out. I don't know what the stipulations were for Gunna though. Like, I just know after being in prison for like 7 months, like that's a long time. That's a long ass time. So like, I don't know what he said, what he did, who he did it for. I don't know. How bad is the lie about them sleeping together gonna hurt her credibility, do you think? So the Megan Thee Stallion thing about her lying about her and Tory Lanez sleeping together was a point of contention that I had back when she was on the Gayle King interview. And I think I was on a stream and we all kind of said the same thing. That was a very obvious lie. I don't know if it hurts her long term.
No Jumper Twitter has all the details.
I don't want to go to No Jumper's Twitter just because, like, it was one thing that they got wrong that annoyed me. So just to avoid, not even going into it, I was just like, I'm going to just stay away from it for right now. for like on their shit, back to the thing though. I don't know how much it hurts her credibility, but people on social media pretending as if the goalpost, like we can move the goalposts from like, why should we care about a woman's body count? She can fuck whoever she wants. She can do whatever she wants, and then no one should have anything to say about it. Well, in a world outside the context of a criminal case where the accusee is stamping a mark against the accuser and basically saying that there was an argument that stemmed from nothing, is kind of crazy. Like, you sleeping with this person kind of changes things a lot. Now, I'm not saying that makes it justifiable for you to have been shot, obviously, but pretending as if people were so nosy that they just had to get the scoop on who Megan was sleeping with as if it had no relevance to the case, I think is very, very short-sighted. Like, clearly, if you're sleeping with Tory Lanez, then that opens up a wormhole in the door for a whole new can of motivations for why the fight was started, what ultimately ended up kicking you guys out of Kylie's little shindig or whatever the fuck. Gives motivations for another person in the whip.
Caught the meanest stray of all time
gives motivations for another person in the whip to want to fight you or to have static with you. All these other accusations start to become a bit more true now. But the only reason I now believe Megan Thee Stallion is because she was so willing to contradict herself in the when she was doing her testimony. That was the only reason, because when you get on that stand on that podium, you're under oath. So the minute she was so willing to, for a long time, after months of basically going with this lie that she never slept with Tory Lanez, the minute she hops on stand, she says that she did, leads me to believe that she is 100% afraid of the repercussions that could come from lying under oath. And so now she's telling the truth, like the complete, well, not maybe the complete, but like most of the truth, as much as she thinks she can. Because she's been doing this lie for a long time about them not sleeping together. Now it's real. Okay, now you got to tell the truth. And now I feel like she's mostly telling the truth. That's what I feel like. Who is Ben? Oh, I don't know about the Benjamin Simmons thing. The Ben Simmons thing didn't have any relevance. I mean, it might have relevance into like, her and Kelsey having static with one another and her doing this like behind the back fucking who you fuck type thing. But like, unless it's relevant to the case, like it is what it is. How does Party feel? I don't care. Personally, like I said, I don't care who you sleep with. But acting like it's not relevant to this case and it might not sway people's opinion, the juror's opinion, that's really short-sighted.
After she said they bonded after both losing a mom and feeling isolated when they're both popping off and getting popular, them sleeping together isn't that groundbreaking.
It's not. It's not at all. It's just the minute you denied it, niggas knew it was a lie. And I didn't know it would come back around in this way. So it's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it might not be fine for her. So it could change things. And that, unfortunately, like I said, if that lie ends up kind of screwing things in her favor or outside of her favor in Tory's favor, I'm not saying she can't be mad, but that changes things. It does. For public perception, and that's why, unfortunately, for Megan this whole time, no one cares that Meg and Tory have sex. It's the fact that she lied for 2 years. It's not even the fact that she lied for 2 years. It's more that Megan would have been better off making her initial statement about this case and then saying nothing until now, which I know is incredibly difficult to do, especially with how much you're taunted in the industry and how much people are kind of dragging your name through the mud. But if she would have said that one thing from the very beginning, stuck to it, and didn't change at all up until this point, I think public perception looks way different for Megan Thee Stallion. But her taking the bait in so many instances and her lashing out at people who say one little thing about the case and her going back at especially even the Drake situation, every time somebody mentions it, it doesn't look good. Her doing these interviews about it. If it's not consistent, I'm not going on nobody's show to have no conversation. I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to just wait until the trial comes and we're going to see what happens then. That's the only thing Tory has in his favor, is that he didn't publicly talk about this outside of the initial confrontation. The initial confrontation And then when we got him on his live explaining what happened, then he made his own little album about the shit. He hasn't talked about it the entire time. So he looks way more consistent than Megan Thee Stallion, even though I still believe he shot her, because there are way too many weird things I think he did leading up into her accusation for me to just overlook. Like, for instance, him completely ghosting social media for a month post her being shot, or 2 months after he was going crazy on IG Live. And then all of a sudden you just stop your traction like that when you've got the most buzz you've ever had in your career, and you just go ghost for what? And nobody even said nothing about you at that point. You just go ghost? That's weird. That's weird. That's really bad. Some people in the chat getting wild. What you mean? What they doing? I ain't seeing it, so I think Ma's on the job. Yeah, but he made Alone at Prom. That's even more of a reason to suspect him. No reasonable, rational human being will make Alone at Prom, call it a good album, and expect niggas to agree. That lets me know that this nigga is insane. He is demented. He needs to be locked up.
It's going down in here. I'm with the money.
That shit is fucking garbage. Boring as hell. Why would you do that? If you willing to torture niggas that you don't even know like that, imagine what the fuck you do to Megan Thee Stallion. That's just my personal opinion. That was bad. That was a bad album, bro. That was a terrible fucking album. But if I'm not going off of that, right? If I'm not going off of that record alone, in public perception, Tory Lanez looks like a somewhat reasonable person, even if I don't believe him to be. And then there are other reasons that have kind of led me to believe that Tory Lanez can be like overtly violent with people that he has disagreements with. For instance, his confrontation with Travis Scott, his infamous confrontation with Travis Scott, and then him recently punching August Alsina in the fucking face. Whether August Alsina had it coming or not. August Alsina went on this like weird little press run of like taking a picture as soon as he got hit on some like, let me model this shit right here. Like, I don't give a fuck that he got punched, to be honest, but it kind of adds to Tory Lanez's aggressiveness in this instance. So he probably should have never hit him, even if he did deserve it. Getting bitched by someone that's shorter than 6 feet is insane. Hey, bro, if you act like a weirdo to niggas, it don't matter how tall they are. They gonna slap the shit out you. It is what it is. I'm not mad at him getting slapped, but it makes Tory's situation look like he's a much more violent person than he originally let off. So there's tons of shit that, you know, could be levied against Tory, levied against Meg. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
From this morning, let me catch you up on the rest of Kelsey's testimony. They asked her, how are you feeling? She said, I don't want to be here. They asked her, what's triggering you? She said, quote, lies from Megan. She was asked what lies, that I betrayed her, that I am a bad friend, that I took hush money. Was asked, how do you feel about the allegation that you shot Megan? She said, that's ridiculous. She was asked, how did you...
And then even worse, this is the worst part about the situation. Megan had completely omitted the fact of why she left the party. She completely omitted this fact. Once again, I'm sure for public perception, because she doesn't want her name dragged through the mud as if she's a shady friend. But going behind your friend's back and fucking the dude that she was talking to already makes it even more motivating for people outside the situation looking in. They gonna look at the friend and be like, of course the friend would want to shoot her. Not saying that it makes sense, but it's like, of course this is motivation for this friend to want to beat you up or want to harm you after you went and fucked around with some of the dudes that she fucked around with in the past. But the fact that Megan didn't say anything about it makes it look like, what? Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you say that? What's my opinion on meat? What is that? What does that even mean? Can you explain that to me at length? I called iPhone is great. God damn it. Fuck. Appreciate the gifted. I still forgot to add. I called iPhone and somebody hacked my phone to my soundboard. I'm going to add it during the stream. But like I said before, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, you should have. Nah, niggas definitely 10 lashes. I forgot auto sound. Umar gonna have three of them shits on the soundboard just for him. Tory is not paying for her lawyer. Who said that? Wasn't a stream for that, but I called iPhone and the interview was great. Yeah, 100% it was. It was hilarious as fuck. Chinese niggas got something to do with this. I might put it in there. I might not. I'm not sure.
Sean, can I get to unbanned? I don't know why I got banned for being honest or blunt. I thought that was BS and was soft AF. I didn't even get a warning. I say what I say and stand on it if true.
What did you say? And 2, what is your user? Like, oh, did you just get banned? Did you just now get banned? If you did, that's fucking crazy. And you asking for an unban after you just had it? There's no way. There's no way. What did you just say, bro? Like, chill out. Wait, is that horror guy? What the fuck are y'all talking about? Hey, it's too much going on.
Tory Lanez, me and Meg both met him at the same time at a Rock Nation brunch. She continued that after they met, Meg wanted to hook Tory up with Kelsey, that did happen, that Kelsey and Tory were engaged in an intimate relationship, that Kelsey got COVID, went back to Texas, and during the time she was back in Texas, having left LA, Tory and Meg started getting it on. They talked about the night of the incident. They got to Kylie Jenner's house around 3 to 4 p.m. She was a great witness, by the way. She answered everything extremely knowledgeably, extremely truthfully. I believe every word she said. She never seemed like she was trying to hide something, except when she pled the fifth, of course.
Right?
Now, she's clarified this was not a party. Those are just people hanging out.
In the last hour of court, the prosecutor asked Kelsey Nicole, "Did Tory offer to pay for your lawyer?" She responded yes. She was then asked, "Did Tory pay for your lawyer?" She responded, "I don't know. I can't remember."
Yeah, so this is how I think that the case is going to go. I think that in some way, shape, or form, I mean, anything's possible, obviously, but I think in some way, shape, or form, it gets revealed. But she already asked for immunity, so that's not a possibility. But the fact that I don't know what's gonna happen at this point, based off of everything that's happened, means that everybody involved has done a horrible job at getting the information about this to the public, where you otherwise would just shut the fuck up until your trial. This is why shit gets muddy.
I can't be the only one that thinks her friend shooting Meg's story makes more sense than the Tory shooting Meg's story.
My name is Just Burner X. I said that whore Meg should suffer if Tory was not guilty. I'm so sorry that I hurt so many soft people. Oh no. Okay, here's what I'll say, Just Burner. Just to give you a bit more like social awareness, right? There's nothing inherently wrong about thinking that somebody's a whore in your mind. But in the context of where people can so easily apply it to a situation where she's been shot, I don't really think this is like the necessity. Like this isn't the time to be like, oh yeah, this is a, like, why say that? How, like, I don't get in what realm. This is my biggest question to niggas, right? And to you specifically, Just Burner. And I'm not gonna make you keep responding because I don't want you to have to keep tipping to come back in here. But first of all, you can work on your verbiage. Second of all, I don't see her completely just coming out the woodwork, just lying on somebody who had nothing to do with her being shot. I just don't see that. I don't. There are many things in this situation that I think she should have been more transparent. She probably shouldn't have, talked about this publicly at length to a point where she could be have holes poked in her story by the general public, and eventually the jurors are gonna look at this information too and be like, I don't know, it's looking a little shaky. She probably shouldn't have done those things. There's many things in this situation she probably shouldn't have done. But one of the things that I just don't see her doing is completely fabricating a lie on somebody who had nothing to do with her being shot. I just don't see that, bro. Out of everything that I've seen so far, in the better way I think she could have handled it, I don't see her completely lying on Tory Lanez. Like, oh my God, there's no way. I just don't see that. I don't see it. And Elijah, you bring up a good point. I remember you realize the perception that we have of O.J. Simpson, for example. All evidence, and this isn't nearly as clear cut as that one because there's so many conflicting stories and everybody's actually alive in this case, which makes it a lot more complicated. But for years, we've all been saying all evidence points to OJ doing that shit, even though he was found not guilty. Are you going to have the exact same perspective if even more evidence comes out and then Tory Lanez ends up being found not guilty? You're still going to be like, oh, yeah, there's no way. Like, I don't think it's never been as clear cut as, okay, because not guilty verdict, that means innocence. In the eyes of the law, 100%. But stranger things have happened. And you know that. You know that. OJ innocent? Technically. OJ technically innocent, but you know. And would I ever say that to OJ's face? OJ's hand is the size of this entire fucking table. You think I'm saying that to him? Without a gun near me? Nah. RIP his victims. But, like, I'm not even being in the same room with OJ, knowing that, like, nah. This is not happening. This is not happening. You got a black woman agenda?
Shawn do unban requests.
I will, but I don't know how to get there. I swear I'm going to do it. What is a black woman agenda? What the fuck does that mean? An agenda for a group of people? What are you talking about?
Who do think is selling more if they both drop an album after the trial if Tory wins? So do I get my second chance?
Oh my God. Why did you ask that dumbass question? Nah. Why did you ask me that dumbass question? That was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. I can't think about that, bro. Stop. That was a crazy question. What the fuck? So I get a second chance and unban. I don't know, bro. You gotta take it up with them niggas. Oh my God. Did I move it? Okay, no, I'm good. No, that was crazy. But yeah, I don't see her just completely making that up, bro. Best albums in 2022. Do y'all really want to do a new Woo Foo Foo? I don't know. Have we moved past that? I think I've grown beyond this. I'm joking. I haven't. I lied. I haven't grown past it. I'm still going to do it.
There was maybe 5 or 6 people before Tory got there. There was a lot of alcohol. She said at one point she did pass out when she woke up. Tory was there. They were all in the pool. They were having fun. She confirmed a lot of the speculation. Tory was hooking up or trying to hook up, flirting with Kylie in the pool. Meg was very agitated, trying to leave with Tory. Tory did not want to leave. She contradicted Meg's testimony. Meg said, oh, I don't remember ever leaving once and then coming back. Kelsey testified they all got in the car. They left without Tory as they were going. Meg is rambling, being just weird, and then says, oh, I forgot my slipper. Let's go back. They all go back to get her slipper. Then they grab Tory. Kelsey didn't go in at that point when they went back. But when they came out, Meg came out with Tory, and Meg said to Kelsey, bitch, Kylie told us it's time for us to go. Tory drops the bombshell that he had been hooking up with Meg. Kelsey did not know this. The first time she learned this is in that car. That's when the argument ensues. That's when just lots of arguing is going back and forth. The prosecutor really tried to pin it down and make it look like the argument was only between Tory and Meg, and Kelsey was adamant that nah, everybody was arguing with each other. It was,
and I think once again too, because head movement felt kind of racist. Since Megan Thee Stallion already lied about her sleeping with Tory Lanez, the reason that she would lie, or not lie necessarily, but keep or omit this information about her and Kelsey having this argument is like mainly for public image, because she doesn't want to be perceived as somebody who's going behind her friend's back. Shitty friend and loose, I guess, with box, I guess. I don't know how else you want to describe it. So for optics, it looks better if she just continues this narrative that her and Tory are arguing in the car and nobody else. Because if she would have said me and Kelsey were arguing from the very beginning, it looks like, well, arguing over what? And then she'd have to expose the fact that, well, because I was sleeping with Tory Lanez behind her back. So it's definitely optics for Megan. It's definitely optics for Megan. That don't mean I think she lied about Tory shooting her, but to hide this part, yeah, you care about yourself. You care about your public image.
It was a mess. She confirmed,
and that's not weird. That's not like abnormal to care about that. But when you omit that information, it's gonna come back. It's gonna bite you in the ass like it has.
that Meg was dissing Tory's career, his skills as an artist. This stuff all crescendoed. The prosecutors asked her about, was there ever a threat made by Tory to shoot? She said yes. Prosecutor asked her, what's the context? She said, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. You can only invoke your Fifth if the testimony.
Hold on.
She said, crescendoed. The prosecutors asked her about, was there ever a threat made by Tory to shoot? She said yes.
So was there a threat made by Tory to shoot? And then she says yes. This is all John Legend's fault. Everything bad that happens ever in the world is John Legend's fault. So Kelsey says, was there ever a threat from Tory Lanez to shoot? And she says yes. That's if I'm just going based off what she said.
Prosecutor asked her, what's the context? She said, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. You can only invoke your Fifth if the testimony that you are compelled to give will incriminate you, meaning that the context around the threat, if Meg will not tell us, if Kelsey tells us, it would incriminate her.
Yeah, so it's do we want to ban Traza? Hold on, let me get in on this. I haven't seen Traza say anything. Traza, did you say something crazy? I'll invoke my right to have power in this situation if you didn't do nothing wrong. What did Traza say for him to almost get banned? If I'm not playing video games, we're not gonna bully Traza. You said send Jack Harlow to jail. I don't believe you.